wondered if all Pomeranians have the same quirky habits? These little fluffballs are full of personality, and some of their behaviors might just surprise you. From their signature palm spin to their obsession with being carried like royalty, Pomeranians have some of the most entertaining and adorable quirks. But do all Poms do these things? That's what we're going to dive into today. As we go through this list, let me know in the comments down below which ones your Pom does, or if they have any funny quirks of their own. Alright, let's get started. First up is the famous palm spin. Have you ever seen a Pomeranian do this little tornado move? You're not alone. The famous palm spin is one of their signature quirks. Pomeranians love spinning in circles, especially when they're excited, whether it's mealtime, playtime, or when they're greeting their favorite person. Some Poms do a single spin, while others seem like they're training for the Doggy Olympics with non-stop twirls. But why do they do this? It's usually a way to release built-up energy and show pure happiness. Think of it as their version of a happy dance. Does your Pomeranian do the famous palm spin? Out of our dogs, Murphy is the one that does the spin the most. The Velcro Dog Syndrome. If you own a Pomeranian, you probably already know privacy. What's that? These little fluffballs are always by your side. Pomeranians have what I call the Velcro Dog Syndrome. They stick to their favorite person like glue and follow them everywhere, from the kitchen to the bathroom and even just across the room. They simply hate being alone. This comes from their history of being companion dogs. They were bred to be loyal lap dogs, and they take that job very seriously. While it's adorable, it also means Poms can be prone to separation anxiety. So if your little shadow is always next to you, it's just their way of saying, I love you, and I must be near you at all times. Murphy is my Velcro dog. He's on my lap right now, and he is always by my side. If he's not next to me, I actually get concerned of where his whereabouts. Up next, the mirror stare-off. Have you ever caught your Pomeranian in a full-on staring contest with their own reflection? It's a little funny and a little weird, but it happens more than you think. Some Poms are totally fascinated by mirrors. They'll stare at themselves for minutes, as if they're trying to figure out who the other dog is. It's like they're having their own conversation with the other Pom. Sometimes it's even talking to themselves by barking or growling at the mirror. This behavior is more common in younger Poms who are still figuring the world out. They may not have immediately understand that the dog in the mirror is actually them, so they'll give it a good old stare down. Have you caught your Pom in the mirror standoff? My dogs, I would say Moxie is the only one that does this, and she actually does it with her reflection of our sliding glass window or sliding glass door. When it's dark out, she can see her reflection, and she goes into protective mode, barking and growling at herself. The rest of them don't do that. Sitting like a human is next. Ever catch your Pomeranian sitting like a tiny fluffy human? It's not just a trick, it's just one of those adorable Pom quirks. Pomeranians have this funny way of sitting with their back legs fully extended, like they're just chilling like they would be totally relaxed. It's like they're trying to show us that they've got it all figured out, sitting like a person in the room. Some Poms will even do this when they're lounging on the couch or just chilling on the floor, and it's honestly really cute and adorable. Is your Pom a human sitter too? Willow does this the most out of all of our Poms. We often refer to her as an angry bird when she's doing this because she's so round and just a little bit of a puff ball. It's really cute, and I love it when she does this. Up next is the dramatic talker. Is your Pomeranian a bit of a dramatic talker? You know, the kind that loves to grumble, whine, or even have a full-on conversation with you? Pomeranians are known for their sassy personalities, and one of the most charming quirks is their ability to talk back. Whether it's a high-pitched woof or a deep grumbly sound, they have a way of making sure you know exactly how they feel. It's almost like they're trying to join in on the conversation, telling you their thoughts or opinions in their own little way. And don't be fooled, when they really get into it, you can almost swear that they're giving you the sassiest of responses. So, is your Pomeranian a dramatic talker too?
What?
Moxie is our dramatic talker. What? She always has something to say and will listen to you so intently. It's almost like she's really trying to understand what you're saying and wants to have that full-on conversation. And when she's mad at you, she really lets you know. Up next, the sock thief. Is your Pomeranian a little thief? They have a habit of stealing small items like socks, and those are usually their top favorite. It's not unusual for a Pom to grab your socks, hair ties, or even their own toys and dash off and stash them in their secret hideout. What's even more surprising is how crafty they are. They'll sneak away with their loot like tiny little bandits. Or like our Moxie, she'll do it right in front of you and she'll be so proud she has to show you. When you catch them, they'll give you that look of like, what? I thought you weren't using this right now. They'll stash their little finds in the strangest places like under furniture, in their bed, or even tucked into corners of their room. It's like they each have their little treasure chest of stolen goods. Moxie likes to bring mine into a little cubby hole of a storage container that we have. She likes to go lay in that container, and that's where she'll run with her stash. So do you have a sock thief at home? All of mine are sock thieves, with especially Duke and Moxie being the worst. Up next, the blanket burrower. If you have a Pom, you've probably witnessed their blanket burrowing ritual. It's like they have a built-in need to dig before they settle down to sleep. Poms like to dig, paw at, and burrow into their blankets, creating the perfect little nest just for themselves. It's their way of getting comfortable. They'll often paw at the blankets, fluff them up like they're creating the ultimate sleeping spot. And when they're really into blanket burrowing mode, you might not even see their face, just their little body curled up under the blanket. They're seeking comfort and security, just like humans would do when they're about to snuggle in for a cozy night's sleep. It's not just a cute habit, it's their way of making their space feel safe and snuggly. So does your Pom have a blanket burrowing ritual? Willow does this the most out of all of our Poms. It's funny though when she does it to the living room rug. She starts to dig and circle around before laying down to rest. Up next, the big dog attitude. Pomeranians might be small, but trust me, they have the heart of a lion and the attitude of a big dog. Despite their tiny size, Poms never back down from a challenge. They'll face off with much larger dogs without hesitation, which can be concerning. When meeting bigger dogs, Poms often puff themselves up as if they're trying to say, I may be small, but I'm mighty, or they just completely forget. They may be completely unaware of their size. They'll hold their ground, act like they're in charge with no fear. This is part of their brave, bold personality. They may be small in stature, but their confidence and courage is huge. So if your Pom's got that big dog attitude, you know they've got a whole lot of spunk packed into that little body. Does your Pom think they're the boss too? All of my dogs have that big dog attitude, with sassy little Moxie being the worst. And then the Zoomies. Pomeranians are notorious for these random bursts of energy, and they can happen at any time. Out of nowhere, they'll dash around the house at full speed, often for no reason at all, just for pure excitement. Whether it's right after a nap, or just because the sun is shining, Zoomies take over and the house becomes their racetrack. It's like they're filled with an energy bomb that can't be contained. They're off, running like their lives depend on it. And after their wild dash, they'll suddenly stop, panting, with that cute, what just happened look, almost like they have no idea what they're doing. But don't worry, they're just letting off some steam. Those little legs move fast when Zoomies hit. Next up, the picky eater drama. If you have a Pom, you've probably witnessed this one. Poms are known for being a bit selective when it comes to food. You could be offering them a pretty good meal, and they'll look at it like it's the worst thing they've ever seen. They'll turn their nose up, give you that judging look, and walk away as if they didn't just act like a tiny, fluffy food critic. And if you're in the kitchen, forget it. They'll follow you, stare at the fridge, or even bark until they get something tastier. It's like they have a sophisticated palate, and nothing but the finest will do. But don't be fooled. They're not really picky. They're just waiting for the next course. So after a little drama, they'll finally accept the alternative and happily munch away like nothing happened. So do you have a picky Pom in your household? So let's recap these quirky Pomeranian traits that we've covered today. From their infamous Pom spins to their dramatic sock stealing antics, Pomeranians sure know how to keep us entertained. Whether they're acting like they're in charge or having a full-on conversation with themselves in the mirror, there's never a dull moment with a Pom around. And don't forget those adorable Zoomies and the blanket burrowing skills that make us love them even more. Pomeranians are full of surprises, and if you've got one, you know that they're more than just cute, they've got some personality. Which of these quirky traits does your Pom do? Drop it in the comments down below and let's compare notes. And if you haven't yet, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Pom content. If you've enjoyed this video, you may enjoy my video all about Pomeranian Zoomies. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to hug your Pom today.